Hello, Musto0063, back for part 18 of I'll Be the Crimson. Last time, part 17, we were still making our way through this crimson-looking background area, and yeah, it was okay, apart from like maybe one screen that had a really freaking annoying save right in the middle. Like there's one jump there that was just absolutely horrific to kind of pull off. I think I got stuck there for like at least 10 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes or so, and that was really, really bad. There might have even been the screen that had the really crummy align thing you had to do at the top of the screen as well. So yeah, bad screen in many ways. But other than that, I don't think too much tripped me up. Yeah, it seemed to go okay. So yeah, anyway. Decentish progress, other than that one screen, in particular that one sort of middle save of one screen, but other than that was fairly happy. And yeah, we come to this screen, which I mentioned at the back end of last video, is the infamous, for me at least, screen from not from Culture 2, wow, Camellia 2, sorry. That's in stage 6. It does have a warning thing on it as well, so I think it's obviously considerably changed up from this. I'm hoping it's much harder in Camellia 2 than it is here. But yeah, that's the screen that took me 6 hours to do on when I first came to it. I think that must remain the longest I've spent on any non-boss like platforming screen on a fan game ever. I'd like to think I'm a lot better than I was then when I first did that, and you know, notably, even though I obviously knew what was coming. Those of you familiar or remember from my Camellia 2 Let's Play, I actually did this screen in 6 minutes rather than 6 hours. So, yeah, considerable improvement. Obviously, as I knew what was coming. But, yeah, like I said at the end of last part, and let's just progress on, I am going to mess up. Wow, really, really horribly right at the beginning. Okay, this is not a good start. And does not necessarily bode well for this screen either. Yeah, I am aware of there being, oh my goodness me, if we can actually even get to it, yeah, it's a good thing there is one, because wow, are you kidding me? A trick to this screen. But who even cares about that trick at the moment, because I cannot pull off, apparently at the moment, the simplest of jumps, and that's going to, yeah, wow, this is an absolutely atrocious start. Here's hoping it gets considerably better, because I cannot even get to the point where, and the trick is actually fairly early on. Okay, we might actually have no, still not yet. Okay, we might have actually made it there. I sincerely hope this works, because what I had to do in Camellia 2 was pretty much go all around the houses, go up to the top of the screen, or all the way to the left hand top of the screen, to trigger out a huge spike wall that comes down, and basically means you have to do the whole thing again. But I'm hoping that yes, and there's also, I can see a slow-moving going out left there as well. We've triggered that out as well. So, oh boy, yeah, I'm so relieved that actually worked, and means we don't have to do the screen like all the way through twice. We only have to kind of like to get up to this point in time. Okay, we do still have triggers there, and I suspect they may actually be slightly different than what is in Camellia 2. So we might have to. We might end up still mucking around with triggers on the second wave through, but that is so good, that's so nice, I'm so relieved that works. I don't know if that actually worked in Camellia 2, or whether you still had to, whether it could be cheese there. I suspect not, and that's probably what Camellia 2, or one of the things that Camellia 2 changed about this screen. But yeah, this is such a nice little trick. That means that I have to go all the way over to the left-hand side and up to the top and do the whole screen twice. Although I don't ever remember that jump being like that much of a pain. And I can't believe how much I've died to this. Like, that jump there is not difficult, really, at all. But for some reason, I just cannot do it at all. So yeah, while it's a relief to have not have to do the whole screen, at least as far as I'm aware, like twice, I do still have to pull that jump off twice, which at the moment is obviously proving very problematic. Nor can I seem to do anything at the moment, like cliff jumps or anything. So yay, wonderful. This might actually still take 6 hours at this rate, because I'm having a bit of a shocker here. And I was not pleased with that at all, but somehow managed to not die there. So this is the point in time where, like, okay, do I try and remember what the triggers were in Camellia 2 and try and and go for them? I feel like I remember like one spike coming out on the next jump, like flying to the right, but if I prepare for it, it doesn't happen, am I going to get screwed? So I just play it normally and we'll find out what goes on. I think that's probably what I'm going to do, because unless obviously like 2 traps happen that I remember from Community 2, or the third one, and then I'm like, okay, and I think we're just replicating that now. I'll try and remember that, but I think I've just got to kind of like play as I kind of see it. Oh, it's okay. It did trigger. I tried to jump out of the way. I was too slow, or not too slow to avoid the spike trigger, but jumped into the spike above, into the spike above. So okay, if in that case, then I'm going to try and prepare for what I remember. I think I remember the next trap being, which is the other spike on that left-hand wall, triggering when you go down. But I'll maybe try and explain that a little bit better when I can actually get back up there. If I can get back up there. That jump, I have no idea why that jump is causing me so many problems. Like, it's not difficult in any way, shape or form, compared to like everything else in the game, let alone this screen. But what the hell? What the hell? I am gutted I've got to do this jump twice, because I just can't do it. Consistently at all. What in the world? It is not difficult. I'm so nervous on it now that I'm like kind of edging to it, which is probably going to make me nervous and sort of just cause other problems. I didn't make that jump. That was a terrible jump. And the other problem I've got with that particular maneuver now is I'm thinking about it like all the time. There is absolutely no way, even if I like pull that off, like in the next 5 goes flawlessly, it's happened like so often already now that it's always going to be in the back of my mind, and I just can't do it. I'm going to not rub up against the wall, maybe on the left-hand side there, because I seem to be sort of like quite naturally probably just holding left to sort of just try and land on the block and not like make sure I reach the block and don't fall on the spike on the floor. But for some reason is going like really going to the left there, because I'm trying not to land on the spike, and rubbing up against that wall actually causing a problem. Yep. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, then this block here is sort of fake, and there's a bit of fruit there. But we're not gonna find out if that actually is still the case. Okay, this looks the same. So this is just timing up here. Oh, now you do something, don't you? There ends up being like a diamond here or something. Okay. I don't recall that from Camellia 2. So, but that I take that over. I take that over having to pull off a diamond. So you know what? We will take that. And yeah, well, I'm not going to say anything just yet. Let's see how this plays. Let's see how this plays out. Yeah, I can't believe it. I somehow reckon that rubbing up against that wall is somehow giving me a less beneficial align. I actually can't believe that. That jump does not look like a line would have any noticeable impact whatsoever. But I can't believe it. Let's not say I'm going to make it flawlessly every time, because there's still going to be mess ups. But that's incredible. Of all the jumps that you put in front of me that say that, or that I would think, oh, and a line here, oh my god, wouldn't have any noticeable impact. I would not have said this at all. And there's an absolute prime example of what I'm desperately of what I was doing before by kind of holding left, because I didn't want to happen. That I don't go far enough to the left and just don't make the platform and die on the spike. So yay, that's exactly what I was doing before by holding left, and yeah, wonderful. But I'll take the trade-off for having a death like that and not rubbing up against the wall. But at this point in time, gee whiz, we're still not going to find out about that block. If I can help it. Yeah. Okay, so we can do that. We've already triggered out that spike, but we didn't make the thing because I bonked my head on the ceiling. Bother. The only thing is whether there is some sort of screw you thing at the end, which I think was in Camellia 2 there, but the fact that there's a save up there suggests to me that it's not going to do that. Unless the save went away or goes away, or something like that. I don't think you're going to be able to pull any sort of spike fake out trick up there. Possibly, really, okay. Possibly before, or before the jump over the spike, you're going to be like, it's going to be like a fake trigger kind of thing. So I could see that happening, where you sort of like try to jump over the top spike there, and you backtrack because you think it's going to trigger, and actually there's a spike that then rises up to the left. So you could pull that. I can't remember whether that was part of Community 2 or whether there was a spike trap after it. But I think the fact there's a save there means that isn't going to happen, and we're just going to go for it. If the high spike there up and triggers and catches me out, then so be it. Didn't like that. Oh, it is. Okay, it is that. Okay, cool. Okay, well, that took longer than it took to do on my Camellia 2 Let's Play. By about 4 minutes or so. Still only took 10 minutes, but oh my goodness, can you imagine if I have to sort of do the bit over on the left-hand side? I'm assuming that I got rid of some of or that the triggers only take place during the second go round anyway. So I think that's all okay, but still, having to not muck around but going all the way to the bottom there, the left and the top again, and triggering out that spike ceiling thing to come down, by going all the way up to the top initially, and the fact that you can cheese that by doing a double jump at the midpoint there, that is fantastic. That is awesome. I love that. But it's just something I looked up when I was doing when I was ages ago when I did Camellia 2, and I just thought, oh, okay, I wish I'd known that trick if it had worked in Camellia 2. It was one of those things that, like, okay, if I ever do a Let's Play of On a Bit of Crimson, for goodness sake, remember that trick, because it will be enormously helpful. Anyway, moving on. Oh, it's the boss. It's the final boss. Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna pause it there anyway, because with that being the final boss, I would just like to take a moment to celebrate the fact that is therefore my last ever platforming thing. Unless there's some chase section at the end of the once you beat this boss, which I'm not aware of. Don't think there is. That is going to be my last ever platforming screen in an I Want to Be the Guy fan game, or at least a Let's Play. I'll probably end up still playing some fan games once I've finished with the channel and stuff like that. But from a Let's Play perspective, footage that's going to be uploaded or whatever, that is the last platforming screen. So yay, it's out of the way. It's actually incredibly fitting, I think, for that one to be the one, given it again from Camellia 2's perspective. I know it's not the Crimson one, but that screen in Camellia 2 took 6 hours to do, my first go through. I know that sounds absolutely dreadful. It sounds dreadful to me now as well, frankly. But that was the longest screen in any fan game that I've spent that I would have like quit out the game because there's a manoeuvre or something that I've done. I've very, very few games I've done that for anyway, and I deliberately don't. I avoid playing the insanely stupidly difficult ones, other than Camellia 3, because I just wanted to see how far I could at least get through the first stage of that. But the screen that took me the longest to do first time around is the final platforming screen I'll do on a Let's Play. Okay, there's something quite ironic and pleasing at the same time about that. But okay, we're at the final boss now. I've always had this in my mind when I got here, that I don't quite know how I'm going to play this from a footage point of view. I figure this is probably going to be the last part of this Let's Play now, even though I know it's been going on for almost 50 minutes or so. But I've already done this in Camellia 2. Much like with the Bat Boss, although probably there's a bit more to talk about here. It feels incredibly tedious and there's not really much to commentate on. There's one thing, I know the strategy that I want to employ. The one thing I probably want to do maybe first off, before we actually even do anything, record any footage now we've got here, is actually I want to find out how many shots the blue one takes before the red platforms go away and we start dealing with water. So I want to get that. That would be kind of nice to kind of figure out, and I don't just be a complete waste of your time watching that. So I might go ahead and do that just to figure that out. I'll probably also then get a bit of appreciation about whether or not I think the health bars are a bit beefier. That might be how Camellia 2 nerfed it, as well as possibly just more. I think there's more fruit that comes into play as well. But I'm not quite sure what my strategy is going to be for how I'm going to do this boss. Whether I'm going to try and commentate a few goes after I figured out the blue one, or run through it and post-commentate on it or something, just to have something to say, because I've done it in Camellia 2, it was boring and tedious to talk about there. I haven't got much else to say here above and beyond, again, just maybe going over some of the moves initially, but it's an incredibly boring, tedious boss to commentate on. And yeah, whether I'm going to do live commentary or post commentary, I don't know. But the very first thing I'm going to do is figure out how many shots the blue one takes to transition from the blocks to the water, because I would like to get that in my head before we do anything. So yeah, whether I'm back with live or post commentary, we'll find out in just a moment. Okay, so let's try with some live commentary. So let's get a few hits in at the beginning, make our way up here. So by my count, it was 11 shots on the blue one. Nice. Oh, this boss is just going to be an absolute pain in the frickin' arse. 11 hits on the blue one to get it to water phase. So in that case, I only want to hit the blue one 10 times. So what we can do in the meantime, then at least, is probably muck around. But I'm just gonna just for the moment. So this is just gonna shoot the blue one and get that and hit it 10 times if I can. So that's 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now we've got the blue one where we want it to be. That's fine. So yeah, one more shot on the blue one, and we'll transition to the platforms in the middle here going away, and there being water. So that means I do have to be extremely careful now not to kind of go too gung ho on the green one. Because if I try and shoot at it, and the wow, and the wow, and the faces transition to really, and the faces transition and go, and then I'm going to hit the blue one again, because unfortunately the blue one is just past the the green one. So yeah, that's sort of something I have to be extremely wary of. I'm already thinking, frankly, I'm probably just going to do this in post commentary, because it's just so tedious. I'm sorry, there's nothing interesting to say. By the look of it as well, from what I could tell from the health bars, they do seem to be bigger. Or that, by the time I got the 10th hit or the 11th hit on, and the water actually appeared, it didn't look like the health bar was anywhere near like low down or anything. So yeah, from that perspective, I think it's going to take considerably more time to do, which again is fine from a gameplay perspective. But unfortunately, when you're trying to do a commentate on a let's play, it's just incredibly tedious, and there's just so much to easily just get distracted on here, mess up on. So yeah, if I maybe talk about the actual faces, then we can go. Maybe that might be a good thing to do initially. We'll do that live. So the blue one shoots out projectiles in from the corners. It starts off doing only like one, but then they come from like 2 corners and then 3. I can't actually remember whether they are all 4. I think that might actually be the case when we transition to water phase. So yeah, we just need to watch out for that. The green ones are like in the cardinal directions, so from like straight vertically up and from the top, from the ceiling and the floor, and horizontally from both directions. So basically, I want to try and take out get to the green one down to 1 health and then stop there. I do not want to kill the green one until we're very close to the end. If I do that, the little skull helmet thing on its head will detach and chase me. And if that happens, good luck trying to be able to dodge anything else that's going on, particularly when you're dealing with water on screen and rather than the solid platforms. And yeah, it basically becomes nigh on impossible to avoid. I've taken a bit too much time there, so I'm not going to muck around and get that extra hit on. So yeah, green one down to 1, and then we can leave it there. And I can do the green one down to 1. I want to do that one first, rather than, for instance, the red or the yellow, because with the red or yellow, there's stuff that sort of lingers on screen. You can already kind of see some of the red lingering on screen. Can I actually get you on those? One more hit on the green one. You can also kind of see some of the red kind of lingering on screen. Once you kind of shoot it enough, and that's also true with the yellow, but not the green. So we get the green out of 1 hit, which is there, and then we stop. So now basically we want to focus on red and yellow, and from the red, I don't think it really matters from the red. I think the red is a sniper one, so it just kind of continually shoots at you, and then there's the sort of red ones that kind of bounce around the screen. But for the other ones, the yellow ones, these do kind of linger on screen, and it's important to sort of be consistent, I think, with the corner in which you shoot at them. Once the yellow ones start lingering on screen from one particular corner, and I'm trying to sort of shoot the red and yellow ones in kind of succession, try and get them down, whittle them down at the same sort of health. Yeah, for example, if I shoot the yellow one and it's in the top right corner and stuff lingers on screen, then I only then want to shoot the yellow one in the top right hand corner, because the projectiles will swirl on screen, and by shooting them in the same corner, they'll at least all swirl in the same direction, and I won't have to worry about. Hopefully, we'll have to worry about fruit coming in from different directions. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. And so the red one just kind of perennially shoots where you are at a particular point in time, and you have to always be on your guard with that one. And as you can see, slow-moving red ones that bounce around the screen that are also can be very annoying. But yeah, the yellow ones sort of go out in this fan pattern. I don't think at the moment. So yeah, we're still not at the point where we've actually got yellow lingering on screen at the moment. So yeah, this feels like it's taking absolutely forever. Yeah, but this probably will be the last live commentary run, because I say I also feel like, to be honest, I really want to be concentrating on this. Okay, it does seem like we now have got yellow lingering on screen, and you can see that they are going in an anti-clockwise or counterclockwise direction. So yeah, if I shot in the top left corner, which I don't really want to demonstrate, because who knows, this could be the run, then they would also, I think they would go clockwise, and I do not want them to, I do not want to have to be dodging fruit going clockwise and anti-clockwise. Let's just have them all going in the same direction. That's going to be far easier to appreciate what's going on and dodge accordingly, in theory at least. Obviously, you could set up with patterns that are absolutely horrific. I'm sure that's going to happen numerous times, but let's at least try and make things as easy for myself where possible. So it does only, of course, mean again that while I'm trying to do red and yellow at the same time as well, that I'm probably only doing, well, I'm not doing it. Seems like very much damage, and this is a very kind of slow process. Yes, that's just the nature of this boss. It's going to get even slower when, or indeed if, in this run I get to the point where I can actually, I don't want to take liberties there. Maybe I could shoot the red one again. Maybe I could shoot the red one and try and get that down, because that one I don't think really matters too much. I'm trying to keep the red and yellow sort of around the same health, but actually if I could probably just take out the red one sooner rather than later. But as for the yellow one, yeah, only now in the top right corner. I don't want to be attacking that one anywhere else. But yeah, I got 2 shots in there, so okay, maybe I could do this considerably quicker than I actually was. Yeah, I think I'm already appreciating that there seems to be a bit more fruit on screen here for where the health bars are than what I remember in Camellia 2. I could be wrong there, but just a perception thing. Okay, I'm not going for another yellow one there. The red fruit were just way too much in the way there. And again, not taking any liberties with this. It takes as long as it takes to do. I appreciate on a live one I could maybe take a few extra risks and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, like here for example, I didn't really feel like there was any good place to try and get hit in there, but oh well. See if we can get another red one. I was so tempted there to try and do another one on the red, because I think that would kill it, but I didn't want to hit the green one. I was so paranoid that I would have taken slightly too long there, and the green one would have then spawned in, and I did not want that at all. So yeah, cool. Okay, red one's down. I probably could have got another shot on the yellow one there, but oh well. So okay, red one is down. We now don't have to worry about it sniping us particularly, or we'll have to worry about it kind of shooting at us perennially. But we obviously do have to worry about just the one sort of just continuously bouncing around the screen. So again, yellow all the time, even though it's obviously slightly slower and tedious, but yellow now all the time in the top right corner, not shooting it when it's in the top left. Obviously that would be a lot quicker if I could do that, but no, we're going to wait for it to be in the top right. I'm hoping, assuming I don't get a horrible fruit pattern here, that I might actually be able to take out the yellow one now as well. So nice, okay. And yes, they are all spinning in the same direction, so cool. So however long that's taken, that's like barely anything. So we can now try and go gung-ho on the blue one, and yeah, and now we get the water come into play. So now we haven't got the platforms, we can't rest for a moment now. We've got to keep bobbing up and down in the water, yeah, forever now. So yeah, we've got to now to take out the blue one as much as possible. Don't try and get ahead of myself here and try and shoot at the blue one before it spawns in. Otherwise, I could hit the green one, and that would be disastrous. And yeah, okay, this isn't actually going so bad at the moment. I mean, I still don't think I'm going to pull this off now. Something is probably going to go wrong. This does not look very nice. But yeah, at the moment this is still going. This is going actually really, really nice for a live commentary run. Let's just put it that way. A really would like to get a hit there, but I don't think I did. No, I didn't. I definitely didn't. But hey, we'll put. And actually, seriously, at this point in time, I think I probably want to put more of a premium on just staying alive than taking unnecessary risks. So you know what? I might even just, again, from the point of view of not having a mass amount of blue on screen, I might try and take my time a little bit more here, and unfortunately slip out of the water before I jumped and die. Nice, cool. Anyway, yeah. To be honest, that pretty much covers, I think, everything I want to say about this. You can tell how slow and tedious it is. Could you imagine me trying to do live commentary on this without it getting just boring to the nth degree? So it feels a bit meh for like what's going to be my final boss or my final let's play. But honestly, I think I'm just gonna, if there's a like a successful run, I might post commentate on it after the fact, like just to, I don't know, comment on something that's kind of going on screen, like close calls and stuff like that. But I think you've seen pretty much everything this is going to do now. That was a pretty decent run. I'm actually quite happy with that. We've only been going like 10 minutes or so in this, and I got that far through in 10 minutes or so. So that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, actually, given that I thought this was the Chameleon 2 version I played was considerably nerfed. So to get that far, actually, after only 10 minutes, I mean, that's not to say that it won't take me an hour, if not longer, to get back to that point again, because it could. But I'm hoping, from the point of view that I'm actually going to be concentrating much more on not talking, that this actually might be not as bad as I thought. There's not quite as much fruit as I thought there might be. There still seems to be more than was on Chameleon 2, but not as much as I thought. And yeah, fingers crossed this won't take too long. As I say, somewhat apologies for kind of cutting and either doing post commentary or something on like my final boss on the final let's play. But do you really want to just sit and watch failure after failure on this and me try and commentate on not very interesting stuff? So yeah, I think I'm just going to have to, much like the Bat Boss, resort to that. It's a bit meh for a last let's play, but what can you do? It's not a very interesting boss to talk about. Bloody hell. What in the world was that garbage? Just as hard to hit as ever, I see. This is just taking extra time that I really do not want to be taking. Why is it so much harder to hit you from the frickin' right-hand side? God, I hate this boss. Oh. I'd say that took me the best part of 45 minutes just to get to the blue water phase where I was actually settled into it. Although I didn't feel like I actually really got settled into that go. But yeah, no, like 10 minutes of actually talking and getting there. It took me another 45 minutes to get into a settled run where I was at the water phase. Absolutely ridiculous. God, this boss is just a... Ugh. It's fitting it's the last one for this channel, but god damn, I hate this thing. No, 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 no. That is so dumb. I swear to God, I'm pressing the freaking jump button before, after I exit the thing. I swear to God. That is so annoying. Oh. Oh, thanks, thanks. Go away, pop up, thank you. Okay, the other thing I do know at this point in time is that it's possible to die after you've delivered the final blow, so I feel like I want to get like a final hit in for like low down or something, but that was way too close for comfort. No, we're going to do it! We're going to do it! We're going to avoid everything! You can die to those! You can die to lingering fruit but still on screen! It looks like we're dead anyway. We fall into a lava pit. But okay, yes, it's done. I didn't die while delivering the final blow. Hallelujah. The final boss is done. I Want to Be the Crimson is done. Pending any sort of ridiculous crash or anything like that. But even if it did crash at this point in time, because it seemed to linger on there for way too long, if it did crash, I'm taking that as done. It's done. I Want to Be the Crimson is complete. My final project, my final boss. Again, sort of, I don't want to say whether it's fitting it was that one, but the last platforming screen felt like a very fitting platforming screen to be the last one. I don't know if I'd call necessarily that boss as being a very fitting last boss or anything like that, but oh, it's done. It's done. And you know what? I want to say that took about, bear with me a moment, something like 2 to 2.5 hours. Again, very similar to the back boss actually. But I started employing a different strategy. Actually, I was just the huge problem with that boss. And I'm talking over the credits and I mean, it actually looked like there might actually be references to stages and bits and pieces which I'd known beforehand. Like I Want to Be the Practice 2 was that or something. And what's this one going to be? Black Rose Apostle? Whether that's just the music or whether that's the name of the area, I don't know. Probably sounds like more the music than the name of the area. But anyway, yeah. Sorry to talk about the final boss again. Once again over the credits and stuff like that. But what's so annoying about that boss is it takes so long to set up. Like I have no idea how long that successful run was at this point in time. That could be like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes. I have no idea. 5 minutes, I'd say absolute minimum. Although again, I could be off on that. But I'd say probably nearer 6 to 8 minutes. Probably just that one successful run. It takes so long to set up. It's so much mucking around. There's so much that can go wrong. Sometimes I feel like you just get completely dicked over by the fruit pans, particularly Sniper Red, who's just an absolute prat. just gets you like the worst possible time. I had a bit of an issue there on the final bit with slipping out of the water without like a jump or whatever like that. So on that go I was very, very careful to try and jump like nowhere near the edges of the water in order to get through. But oh yeah, no, it's just yeah, I imagine I will probably put will have put post commentary or something like that, or maybe I don't even know whether I will or not. I might do for a few bits and pieces, but I obviously want to keep the final bit of the commentary at the end there. When I got to the final phase, I'll keep that in as obviously I don't want to overwrite that. But yeah, maybe post commentary, maybe not. Maybe I'll just upload the run without any commentary, and we'll just see how it goes. I'm not too sure. But anyway, thank you for playing. That is I Want to Be the Crimson. What are you going to do now? I'm surprised we're actually alive in the end credits, given that we died. It actually seems very incredibly fitting that we seem to have actually died when actually killing the boss anyway. Not to the point of view that it wouldn't count it as a success, but you know, we fall into a lava pit at the end, and okay, what's going on here? Yeah, we fall into a lava pit and, well, yeah, apparently die. Oh, yeah. I apologise, my commentary here is just, oh, we're going to get our little hair accessory back, are we? It's just, like, not very good or anything like that, but just, there's a realisation that Crimson is done, and that's my final project done. That's going to be the end, pretty much the end of the end of the Let's Plays and the end of the channel. So, yeah, well, let this credit sequence play out. End. I guess at some point in time I will show off or do it now if it can allow me to get back to the title screen. Which I'm not sure whether or not it will. Is it just stuck on this screen? Do I press S, Z, Shift? Nothing is working to progress this on. Enter, space. Well, I'm going to maybe... Let's just do F2 perhaps to get back to the thing. It does say, okay, it does say game clear. There you go. You can knock a few seconds off the end of that time as well for mucking around on the black screen at the end with no real way of getting off it. Game clear, 3,706 deaths, 13 hours 43. Hoi. I don't know whether that's good or bad, frankly, for a first go on that. I didn't feel like I did an awful lot of cutting as well. Both bosses, I think, by necessity, but during the... And I did obviously look up a couple of the secrets because, like the ones in the top... I think in the top two areas of the hub world, because they were just felt like obnoxiously hidden. Particularly the one in the top left, where like you have to have completed an earlier part and survived to get to the point where if you rub up against the wall, you clip through it or phase through it or whatever. That one was just stupid beyond belief. But yeah, obviously above and beyond that, yeah. A few cuts here and there, but nothing too substantial. I think. So the bosses obviously being the main ones, but I mean, and I feel bad about that one on like a last Let's Play, kind of making like sweeping cuts to bosses. But honestly, there's just nothing interesting to say about either of them. So yeah, wow. Again, apologies, my commentary's just all over the place. Just the sense of just kind of like it's just kind of hit me. Like it's done. Crimson's done. My Let's Plays are done. My channel is almost going to be the last thing I'm going to record. It's not going to be the absolute last thing, so there will definitely be a goodbye, thank you kind of video. So I'm planning to sort of do some kind of like at least some kind of medley of kind of like the games I've kind of the games I've played and stuff like that. Just as a little kind of outro kind of thing. Hopefully that won't get copyright claimed or anything like that. So yeah, this won't be the absolute end. There will be one more video to come. It will be a goodbye and thank you. And yeah, if the timings have worked out as I think they are, as I sort of said in my update video at the beginning of the year, I imagine it's going to be somewhere around the end of March, which I think is exactly what I predicted. So yay on that if that's come true. But yeah, well, let's I guess just wrap up on the game itself. You know what? This wasn't the absolute nightmare I thought it could be. Just my experience with Crimson screens, obviously in medley games stuff like that, has been absolutely horrible. Thinking mostly about Camellia 2, but not horrible. Yeah, maybe only that one to be honest. But I still had a bit of a time on Cultured and Cultured 2 with Camellia with Crimson screens and stuff like that. Maybe not Cultured 2, but Cultured. I think there's probably both of them actually getting or maybe just a secret screen. Maybe the secret screen would getting the costume in Cultured, but still anyway. Crimson just seems to have popped up in so many medley games, and I've always seemed to have not an especially good time with them. But yeah, particularly the one on Camellia 2, which, as I say, took 6 hours to clear on my first go through, and remains, or in fact, to this date, the longest time I have ever spent on a non-boss screen in a fan game. So yeah, so it wasn't. Again, 13 and 3/4 hours may be absolutely terrible. 3,706 deaths may be absolutely terrible. But you know what? For what I felt like this could be, I will happily take that. As I say, just experience in medley games, I thought this could be absolutely shocking. You obviously, I did while I went into this with a little bit of background knowledge from the things on Delicious Fruit you see here, and obviously just the rating on Delicious Fruit as well, just kind of lends itself to think, okay, this actually is going to be kind of that bad on an experience or from a difficulty perspective. But yeah, honestly, it wasn't anywhere near as difficult as I thought it was going to be, and I don't think I would put this in the mid-70s as a rating on Delicious Fruit. No. Only 1 or 2 screens really caused a huge amount of problems. I can appreciate, obviously, like finding the secrets. Maybe that, I don't know if that factors into it somehow or not. I don't know. But only a few screens really caused me a lot of trouble. And both bosses, for however tedious and boring, and there's nothing to say about them, as could be said, that yeah, they're not. Well, I guess I should clarify that to say that the final boss, at least, I had a lot of knowledge about what it was going to do, the strategy to employ. Although I did change up my strategy there, where I kind of stopped actually going after the red gung-ho at the beginning. I got the blue down. I got my first thing was getting the blue to down 10 hits or so to the 1 hit away from the water. Then it was shooting like the yellow when I had the opportunity to get it 1 away from when those were going to swirl around and linger on screen. But then my strategy was, okay, not going to bother with red now. I'm going to get green down to 1 hit, and then I'm going to deal with red. And then rather than mucking about trying to dodge the green and the red in conjunction, so it's a little bit slower and even more but I was just getting so frustrated with dodgeball with getting my arse handed to me and like on dealing with green and red in conjunction. So I just thought, okay, you know what, fine, we'll take it a little bit slower, even though it's going to annoy me going slow, because believe me, you don't want to. You just every time you die on that boss, you start all over again. And say it's a six like minute long fight when you complete it or something like that. So you just want to get into it and not have to take your time. But anyway, yeah, green and red together were just annoying the hell out of me. So yeah, decided to get green down to 1 hit, then take out red completely, then start wailing away on yellow again, picking one corner, either top left or top right, and then just sticking in that one. Then once the yellow's down, go after blue, keep going after blue, and then obviously deliver the final hit to green, or indeed deliver the final hit to blue if you've like only got 1 hit left on it after hitting green. So, but yeah, that was I think my strategy stays mostly the same. The big thing that changed up was leaving red alone pretty much until green was down to 1 hit. But yeah, it's difficult to judge how difficult it felt in terms of comparing it to Camellia 2. First time around, obviously it was much easier, but again I knew what was going on. Blue water, the blue in the water, to hit the yellow with one corner so the things swirl around at one point in time. Obviously to avoid killing green early, so you don't have to deal with the skull helmet. Admittedly, all those things are probably don't take too long to pick up once you do them, but obviously going into it, I knew that was going to be the case. You knew there was going to be a situation in the first place. So yeah, it's a bit difficult to judge really, but I would say that was more difficult than going through it a second time on Camellia 2, which was obviously a non-blind go of appreciating what on earth was going on. But obviously, I think Camellia 2 has nerfed it considerably. I think it's got a lot more health in Crimson. I think that's really the main one. Maybe there's more fruit lingering on screen as well with red and yellow. Blue and green seem to work exactly the same, to be honest. Maybe there's more fruit lingering on screen. And yeah, I am aware that you can get screwed over right at the end when delivering the final hit, because on the Camellia 2 version, I think once you deliver the final hit, all the spikes go away on the floor, and all the fruit goes away as well. You have to go into it, and there's a warp or teleporter that you go in. Here, the floor gives way, and you obviously descend down. But if you catch a bit of fruit on your way down, and your controls are locked up at that point in time, I think, at least anyway, you are absolutely screwed. Thank goodness it didn't happen. But yeah, anyway, I think that's all my reflections. Again, I'm so jazzed in terms of the game is over and done with. It's complete. It wasn't the ordeal I thought it might be, but that boss is still a pain in the arse, and I'm just so relieved to have it done, and with it my final Let's Play, my final project. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say for now. As I say, I will be back for one last goodbye thank you video, but yeah, I don't know what else to say, so I will just leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed watching this Let's Play, and yeah, hopefully you'll tune in for the goodbye thank you video. Until then, cheerio.